Hello students, I hope you all are doing good. We are discussing the electromagnetics or EMFT, and today in this session we are going to discuss about the potential difference between 2 points in the electric field created by infinite and finite line charge distribution. So I have said a lot of words and some of you might be confused that what I am exactly going to derive in this video. Actually, I have infinite and a finite line charge distribution, and I am going to talk about the potential difference between the 2 points surrounding to it. Okay, we know the electric field due to infinite line charge. We know the electric field due to the finite line charge. Okay, we have talked about both of them. If you have still not watched the previous video where I have already discussed about the electric field due to infinite and finite line charge, I recommend you strongly to watch it first, because I will be using the same formula from that video, and here in this video I will be talking about the potential difference from the electric field. Actually, I know the relationship between the formula of the electric field and the potential difference. I will be using this relationship to find out what is the potential difference from the electric field. So this is my infinite line charge. This is the infinite line charge having the line charge density lambda. How I can represent lambda? In the units of coulomb per meter. Okay, it is lambda is dq upon dl. So dq is having the unit coulomb and dl is having the unit meter. So here the lambda is having the unit coulomb per meter. So this is my infinite line charge. Okay, so I have taken this unit vector to be arrow in this direction. The point A is this, the point B is this. Okay, I know the distance from the point A to the infinite line charge, that is R1. The distance from the infinite line charge to the point 2 is R2. I know both of them. Okay, now I have to derive what is the potential difference between these 2 points A and B. Okay, this is the infinite line charge. At any point, at any random point, let's suppose my point is somewhere here. Okay, and this point is at r distance from the infinite line charge. Okay, at this point I know what is the electric field due to this infinite line charge. Okay, I hope you all have seen the previous video now, and you can guess the electric field. It was 2k lambda upon r. There I discussed it in the terms of D. So I represented electric field as 2k lambda upon D. Okay, what is D? D is the distance. So distance here I have taken to be R. So electric field will be 2k lambda upon R. This is the unit vector. So what is the direction? Direction is this direction, which is the direction represented with the unit vector. So this is my electric field. That is the same thing that I have represented here, 2k lambda upon R. I know what is K. K is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. So now when I put K is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, electric field will be equal to lambda upon 2 pi epsilon naught. This 2 and this 4 will be cancelling out, and here I will be getting lambda upon 2 pi epsilon naught R arrow. Okay, so this is my electric field at this particular point. So let's take this point to be P. So here I have found out electric field at the particular point P. Okay, now I have to find out the potential difference. I know the relationship between the potential difference and the electric field. I have also derived this formula. So VAB is equal to VB minus VA is equal to integration of from A to B E dot dl, and with a negative sign. So this is my potential difference. So now here I know what is E. Now if I have to find out dl, dl will be dr arrow. Okay, so this is my dl. I am moving from this point to this point. Okay, so now here let's take VAB, and we will be putting the value of E and the value of dl. Okay, so I put the value of E, which was lambda upon 2 pi epsilon naught r arrow, and I put the value of dl, which was dr arrow. So this is the dot product. I know the dot product of arrow and arrow will be 1. So how I can represent it? Okay, the point A is represented by r1 distance. The point B is represented by r2 distance. Okay, so here arrow dot arrow will be 1. So here I will be representing it like lambda dr upon 2 pi epsilon naught r. Okay, so here lambda is the line charge density, it is constant. 2 pi and epsilon naught are also constant. So what we can do, we can take them outside the integration. Okay, so VAB will be equal to lambda upon 2 pi epsilon naught integration from r1 to r2 dr upon r. Now I know this integration of 1 upon r dr will be ln of r. We all know it. Limits are same, it is from r1 to r2. Okay, so here I forgot the negative sign. Put the negative sign also here, and this is the required answer. Now we will be just rearranging it. Okay, so it is lambda upon 2 pi epsilon naught ln r2 minus ln r1. So now if I take this negative sign inside, okay, so now we will be just rearranging it. Ln of r1 minus ln of r2. How we can represent it? We can represent it as ln of r1 upon r2. So I can represent the potential difference between the 2 points as lambda upon 2 pi epsilon naught ln of r1 upon r2. Okay, so this is my potential difference. I hope you understood this. This was really simple. We just used this formula and we knew what was electric field intensity and we just derived what is the potential difference. Now coming to the finite line charge distribution. This was the infinite line charge distribution. Here we have this finite line charge distribution. Okay, so this is my point 0. So here this is the midpoint of this line. So this is z is equal to 0. This point will be z is equal to minus L by 2 if I have taken the length of this line charge distribution to be L, and this point will be z is equal to L by 2. Okay, so again the line charge density is given by lambda. Lambda will be dq upon dz. We know it. Okay, so for a small element here, that let the small element here will be dl, and the charge is uniformly distributed, so the charge on this small element will be dq. So line charge distribution will be dq upon dl for this point. Okay, so now here if I combine this point to the required observation point P. So now if I have to find out the potential at the point P, here I am not finding out the potential difference, here I am finding out the potential at the required point. Okay, so now this r distance is fixed. Okay, the point P is at a fixed distance from the line charge. Okay, let this dq at any random point, and this random point is represented by z. Okay, so this L, the length of this line will be given as L is equal to under root r square plus z square by the Pythagoras theorem. This is the 90-degree angle and this is r, this is z. L is equal to under root r square plus z square. Now we know the potential due to this small charge at this point P. Okay, we know what is the charge, we know what is the distance, and we know the formula of potential. So small potential dV will be equal to dq upon 4 pi epsilon naught into L. This is the formula to find out the potential. So now what is L? I have replaced L with under root r square plus z square. So dV will be equal to dq upon 4 pi epsilon naught under root r square plus z square. Okay, I have to find out V. So V will be integration of dV. Okay, so now here if I put the integration of dV, I just put the value of dV. dV was dq upon 4 pi epsilon naught under root r square plus z square. Okay, so now what is dq? Here dq upon dz is equal to lambda, which implies dq will be lambda dz. Okay, I will be just putting the value of dq is equal to lambda dz and we will be finding out the V. Okay, so what is changing here? Only z is changing here. Lambda is constant, 4 pi epsilon naught is constant, r I already told you it is constant. Only z is changing. So what are the limits of z? Z's limit are from minus L by 2 to L by 2. So this is my potential. So now here I can take the constant terms outside. So lambda 4 pi epsilon naught are constant. Okay, now you can integrate it. Okay, so this is just a simple integration and I will be telling you the final answer that you will be getting after integrating it. What you have to do, you have to put this as any constant. So let r square plus z square is equal to x square. Okay, so when you put this, you have to replace the integration limit, you have to replace dz. From here you can find dz. So 2z dz is equal to 2x dx. Okay, so dz will be equal to x dx upon z. So this is how you can replace all of the things over here, and the final voltage will be coming out to be equal to lambda upon 4 pi epsilon naught ln under root z square plus r square plus z, and the limits are from minus L by 2 to L by 2. Okay, now we have to put the upper limit and the lower limit. So we will be finding out the V. Okay, so this is my V. I have just put the upper limit, which was L by 2. So when I put L by 2 here, Z square will be L square upon 4 plus R square, and plus Z will be plus L by 2. I have to subtract the lower limit, which is minus ln under root L square by 4 plus R square minus L by 2. So ln A minus ln B. We know this formula. It will be ln of A upon B. So this is my potential at this point P due to this finite line charge distribution of length L. Okay, so here I hope you understood what is this L. This L is different, this L is different. I have taken this also to be L. So don't get confused, this L is the length. So let's take it to be capital L. So now here I will be changing all of the L's. Okay, so I hope now you understood what is the potential at the point P. I hope you understood both of the derivations. If you have still any kind of doubt, you can reach out to me or you can put the doubt in the comment and I will be trying to resolve your doubt as soon as possible. I hope you like this video. If you like it, you can push the like button, subscribe to the channel and also share it with your friends. Thank you so much.